Did the kissing scene in my bedroom, on my bed, which is now special, special bed to be sold on eBay someday in the future. But
we have to do a bit of a throwback today. We're going to be talking about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson and the director from Twilight. Yeah, this is a big old throwback.
You're beautiful. Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
I like watching you sleep.
This is insane what the director had Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson do in her bed in her house. Y'all buckle up for this one. Now, before we get into this video, I am a massive fan of Twilight. I just want to say that. I love it.
Twilight will be one of the biggest movies this holiday season. Call it Twilight Mania. At malls from Dallas to Seattle, young fans by the thousands are barely able to control themselves.
We were all here very, very early yesterday.
Slept through the night until 7 in the morning.
Because he's the love of my life.
Yeah, it's cheesy.
Bella! Where the hell have you been, Loca?
I am hotter than you. I kissed Bella. And she broke her hand, punching my face.
Jacob, put your clothes on.
But it is cheesy in the best way. So if you're a Twilight fan, me and you get each other. I love these movies. I think they're so good. They're so bad, but so good. They're my comfort films. I'll never forget going to see Eclipse with my friends. We went on premiere night, and it was like this massive line that was like way outside, through the parking lot. Us all in our little Twilight shirts, Team Edward, Team Jacob. I was always Team Jacob. I actually had like a huge poster of Taylor Lautner on my wall. Like, I was all about it. I didn't know this at the time, okay? This was not something I was aware of. Now, I want to say this. I know that when it comes to Hollywood, they make some people do some questionable things. I'm not saying anything about them having to do chemistry reads. I think it makes sense that whenever you're casting two people to be in a movie where you have to, be able to tell that they love each other, that you want to be able to make sure there's chemistry. I've seen some movies where the chemistry was horrible, okay? So I think these things are very important. I want to say that. I don't think it's weird for people having to do, kissing scenes and stuff before they're filming. I think, it makes sense to me, in this world with actors. However, I feel like there's like a boundary and like a level of comfortability that needs to be there and a boundary that cannot be crossed. And everything about this screams, we've crossed all sorts of boundaries, okay? The director of Twilight actually had Kristen Stewart, who was 17 years old at the time, come to her house for a day and a half and do chemistry reads with 4 different guys, one of them being Robert Pattinson. And she told them, you're gonna have to make out with these guys.
I think it's always important to have that chemistry read, you have to be sure that the two actors in a love story actually get along with each other and have some sparks, right? So that's why I said, okay, let's not do it at a casting office, which those are usually really cold and sterile. Let's go over to my house and we'll just do it like really chill, like really casual. So I picked my top 4 guys, like my top 4 bachelors, and then Kristen, I said, Kristen, you're gonna have to come over for like a day and a half. You're gonna have to do scenes with the favorite 4 guys and make out with 4 different hot guys, Would that be good or bad for most of you guys in the audience?
But she wanted it to be in her house because she said that, casting rooms are so cold and uncomfortable, and I want to set the vibe, right? I want this to be so cozy, in fact, that not only are we going to do it in my house, but I'm going to take you guys into my bedroom, the room that I sleep in at night. Not only that, but I'm going to put you in my bed, okay? I'm going to put you in my bed, and you're going to stay here for a day and a half and do chemistry reads on my bed and make out with these guys.
Well, she suffered through it, and when we got to Rob, we did the kissing scene in my bedroom, on my bed, which is now special, special bed to be sold on eBay someday in the future. But and they were so passionate, like right then, and it was just like electric and radical. That's why we had to have Rob.
Kristen Stewart was 17, and she even makes a comment about getting into legal trouble.
The way she still talks about this rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, dude, calm down, and I'm in there filming with my little video camera, whatever. I could tell they had a lot of chemistry. Oh my god, I thought, Kristen was 17, I don't want to get into some illegal things. Literally such a weirdo for doing this in the first place, considering Kristen Stewart was only 17 years old and Robert Pattinson was 21. But like the fact that she keeps repeating it and thinking it's funny.
If you're even saying that, that tells me that the awareness was there. That you're thinking, I could get into trouble if I do this. So you're sitting here saying this as if it's some quirky, funny thing. Like, I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm going to get out here on a panel and I'm going to tell all of these people and make a joke out of it. Like it's just some cutesy cute, funny thing. She's doing this because there's that little bit of like, I did something wrong here because this is so inappropriate on so many levels, and anybody who is going to bring a 17-year-old into their room and have them make out with guys on their couch, whether it's for a movie or not, as an adult, they're gonna know that that is wrong on so many levels. It doesn't matter if you're an actor, and it doesn't matter if it's for a movie. This is wrong, and this is so inappropriate, and I almost feel like she's like getting out there and saying it, or did in the past. This video is obviously very old, but that she's getting out there and like publicizing it and talking about it to like cover her own basis, so that if this stuff comes out in the future, but I talked about it, it was no big deal. Like everybody was fine with it. Like everybody was cool with it. I, discussed it with her. She was fine with it, even though she was only 17 years old and you're the adult. Your bed, your bedroom is like a sacred space. I always get so just like weirded out when people come into my room. Like if it's not their room, I'm always just kind of like, it's not like how it was like when I was a teenager back in the day and like my room was like my house. You know what I mean? Whereas like this is like my own little space, so all my friends are going to go hang out in here. Like I have like a whole house now, so I don't really like a lot of people going in my room unless we're like really close. I don't like it. Like that's where I sleep. That is not a place where I want, everybody just walking into unless you're family or we're close or something like that. I definitely would, as a director, invite actors to come in there. Like not only that, like she doesn't know these people, right? Like these are like people who she may cast in a movie. That she's just like, hey, come sit your dirty ass thing on my bed and make out with this 17-year-old girl, to the point where I know this is so inappropriate and wrong that I'm going to bring it up, that I could get into legal trouble for this. Like there are so many things that are wrong with it. It was so unnecessary on so many levels. And to sit there and be like, we brought them into my room and put them on my bed because casting rooms, they're so cold and uncomfortable. Put them on a couch then with a heater. Like, why are we bringing them into your bedroom? Like, this is some sort of fantasy. And not only that, like, she kind of brags about it, right? Her sitting there saying, like, that she needs to put this bed on eBay tells me that this is a whole thing for her, that Kristen Stewart was making out with guys on her bed. This was like a fantasy for her. This is so sick. It's not just men. It's not just men out there who are creepy weirdos. There are a lot of women who are too. A lot of them. And this one right here, I'm just disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted by this. It creeps me out. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. Kristen Stewart was so young. I feel like now she would be like, take a hike. I'm not getting on your bed and making out with these guys. That's not happening. But like at the time when you're 17 years old, like guys, do you remember being 17? Completely different person. Completely different person. Like your frontal lobe isn't going to develop for 8 more years. 17 to me now is like a 34-year-old woman. That is like a child. I cannot understand or fathom an adult woman bringing a teenager into this situation and trying to like dust it off as something cutesy funny. Like, no. This is one of those situations where somebody is trying to use jokes and humor to cover up a bad situation. This was 100% taking advantage of Kristen Stewart. And I just feel like that woman has her own little fantasies and things, and it just creeps me out. I can see right through her So weird. Don't care how much I love the Twilight movies, okay? They have a special place in my heart. This doesn't taint the movies for me. I absolutely love them. I feel like they're classics.
It's just a few of the fans that seem to be following you guys wherever you go these days. Did you have any idea what you were in store for when you signed on for this film?
No.
A big no?
No way.
Yeah, that's a conclusive no.
Did you know about the books, Kristen, when you started?
No, I don't know. I go to used bookstores most of the time. I don't know how I missed it.
God, I hate ticks. I can't. Yeah, actors are very sheltered. You don't want to freak out the actors because they'll have nervous breakdowns and ruin your whole day of shooting because we're really fragile little creatures. Yeah, because of spiders and ticks and blood-sucking creatures.
Even with the cringe factor and how bad they are, like, oh my God, like the commentary where Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart and Taylor Lautner, like the cast is all like doing commentary over the movies. The funniest thing I've ever heard in my life because they know how cringy it is and how bad it is.
He wears lipstick, has a little bouffant, and does little circus acts as well.
I like how you say bouffant with like a little accent.
Bouffant. Siloam bouffant. I just walked out of a flower bed in this scene as well.
That was not a flower bed.
What do we eat?
Good. Cheeseburgers. I don't see nothing wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm just like a sweaty guy. I love how I'm driving 2 miles an hour. Sometimes I think I look like I've had facial reconstructive surgery, like after burns or something. I'd love to be able to fit in a box. Like one of those people who can fit in really small boxes. I'd love that.
Jasper's one.
Naughty.
I love listening to them react to these scenes and make fun of it. It is so cringe, like secondhand embarrassment galore, but it is so good and they are my comfort movies. I absolutely love them, but that doesn't take from the fact that this was so inappropriate and wrong on so many levels and never should have happened. And situations like this are happening in Hollywood all the time. And unfortunately, it's usually with people who are too young to know that even though it's an adult telling you this is okay and instructing you to do this, it's actually not okay. They get taken advantage of because adults know that they're a little bit insecure and they're still learning and feeling the world out and haven't been hurt by so many people yet that they would see you as a red flag and they take advantage of it. As we get older, a lot of us have, gone through our own assaults and being taken advantage of and things like that, that we are able to spot the red flags. People that are really young haven't gone through that yet. And they're just blindly trusting these adults that their decisions are the right ones and that they're not out there to hurt them or exploit them. Disgusts me. We would never know about this probably unless one of the cast members decided to come out about it. Or, the fact that this director decided to just blast it all over, like, I'm going to sell this bed. That is so freaking weird. Like, what is actually wrong with you? The fact that you're even making a joke about selling a bed to a weirdo that would pay a massive amount of money to own a bed that a teenager made out on. Like, what is actually wrong with you, you sick motherfucker? Like, you are sick. Anyway. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. If you guys would like to check out my Etsy shop where I sell handmade jewelry, I would greatly appreciate it because when you purchase something, you are helping support me in creating this content for you. I ship everything out directly from my house to yours and package it myself. Everything I have made with my 2 hands. I don't know why I did this. What is that? I appreciate every order so much, but thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you soon for another video.